I'm Maya, your host for today's practice, and I want you to close your eyes for just 3 seconds. And imagine this. You are sitting across from a hiring manager. The room is quiet. She looks at you and she asks, "What are your salary expectations?" Could you answer that question right now in English without translating, first in your head, without freezing, without saying, I don't know, and looking down at the table? If your honest answer is no, or if your honest answer is, I'm not sure, then this lesson is exactly what you need today, because today we are training for one of the most nerve-wracking moments in American working life, the job interview. This is a full listening and speaking practice class for beginners, English for work and job interviews. And I promise you, by the end of this lesson, you will know exactly what to say when an interviewer asks you about your qualifications, your availability, your references, and yes, even that scary salary question. You will practice real sentences, real vocabulary, and real shadowing so that the next time you are in an interview room, your mouth already knows what to do, even if your heart is beating fast. Before we begin, please subscribe to the channel and tap the bell so you never miss a new survival English lesson. Now, take a breath with me. Sit up a little straighter and let's begin. I want you to meet someone today. Her name is Lien. Lien moved to the United States 8 months ago. She used to work as an accountant back home, and for the last few months, she has been applying for jobs here, sending her resume again and again, and hearing nothing back. Today is different. Today, Lien has an interview, a real interview at a small accounting office downtown for a position as a bookkeeping assistant. She has been preparing for 3 days. She practiced her greeting. She practiced saying her name clearly. She practiced smiling. But there is one thing she did not prepare for, and that is the thing that almost costs her the job today. Let's follow Lien through her morning, and as we do, listen carefully, because everything Lien hears and says today, you are going to learn too. Lien wakes up early. Her heart is already beating a little faster than usual. She looks at herself in the mirror, and she says quietly, I can do this. I am ready. Now, shadow that with me. I can do this. I am ready. Say it with your own voice right now, even quietly. I can do this. I am ready. Good. Feel how those words sound in your mouth. You will need that same calm confidence today, too. Lien gets dressed. She puts on her blue blazer, the one she bought just for interviews. She picks up a folder with 3 copies of her resume inside, freshly printed. She checks the folder twice. Papers, pen, resume, ID. She takes the bus to the office, and on the bus, she quietly repeats one sentence to herself. My name is Lien, and I am here for my 9 o'clock interview. Shadow that with me now. My name is Lien, and I am here for my 9 o'clock interview. This is one of the most useful sentences you will ever say in English, because this exact sentence, or something very close to it, is what you will say the moment you walk into any interview. Any appointment, any office in America. Practice it once more, with me a little more confidently this time. My name is Lien, and I am here for my 9 o'clock interview. Lien arrives at the office. A receptionist looks up and smiles. Good morning. How can I help you? This is a question you will hear constantly in American offices, stores, and clinics. How can I help you? Shadow it. How can I help you? Now listen to how Lien answers. Good morning. My name is Lien, and I have a 9 o'clock interview with Mr. Carter. Shadow that sentence with me, slowly. Good morning. My name is Lien. I have a 9 o'clock interview with Mr. Carter. Notice the structure here. I have a time interview with name. You can use this exact pattern for any interview, any appointment, any name. If your interview is at 2 o'clock with someone named Mr. Johnson, you would say, I have a 2 o'clock interview with Mr. Johnson. Try that sentence in your mind right now with your own name and your own appointment time. The receptionist tells Lien to have a seat, that Mr. Carter will be with her in a few minutes. Lien sits down. Her hands are a little cold. She takes a slow breath, and this is a very human moment, one that every single person watching this video has felt before. The waiting room feeling, the nervous feeling before something important happens. Lien reminds herself of one thing. She is not here to be perfect. She is here to communicate clearly. Let's shadow that idea together. I am not here to be perfect. I am here to communicate clearly. Say that with me one more time and really feel it. I am not here to be perfect. I am here to communicate clearly. This is something I want you to remember through this entire lesson and, honestly, through your entire English journey. A door opens. A man in his 50s, kind eyes, walks out. Lien? Hi, I'm Mr. Carter. Thanks for coming in today. Lien stands up, shakes his hand, and says, Thank you for having me. This phrase, thank you for having me, is a small phrase, but it makes a big impression in American interviews. It shows politeness and confidence at the same time. Shadow it with me. Thank you for having me. One more time, smoothly. Thank you for having me. They walk into a small office. Mr. Carter sits behind his desk, and Lien sits across from him, her folder on her lap. He starts with an easy question, the kind of question that almost every interview begins with. So, Lien, tell me a little about yourself. This question feels simple, but many English learners freeze right here because it feels too open, too big. So today, we are going to give you a simple formula for this exact question, a formula you can use in any interview for any job. Here is the formula. First, say your background. Second, say your experience. Third, say why you are interested in this job. That's it. 3 parts. Listen to how Lien answers using this formula. I have 3 years of experience working as an accountant in my home country. I'm very detail-oriented, and I enjoy working with numbers. I'm interested in this position because I want to continue growing my skills here in the United States. Now, let's shadow this piece by piece, slowly, because this is one of the most important answers you will ever give. in English. First part, I have 3 years of experience working as an accountant. Shadow it. I have 3 years of experience working as an accountant. Now change the number and the job for yourself in your mind. I have years of experience working as a second part. I'm very detail-oriented and I enjoy working with numbers. Shadow it. I'm very detail-oriented and I enjoy working with numbers. Third part. I'm interested in this position because I want to continue growing my skills here in the United States. Shadow it slowly. I'm interested in this position because I want to continue growing my skills here in the United States. Excellent. You just practiced answering one of the hardest interview questions in English using a simple, repeatable formula. Feel proud of that. That single answer alone could change the outcome of a real interview for you. Mr. Carter nods, seems pleased, and continues. Great. Now, can you tell me about your qualifications for this role? Here is our first new vocabulary word today, and it is an extremely important one for any job interview. Qualifications. Listen to the word, qualifications. Now, repeat after me, qualifications. One more time, a little slower. Qualifications. Good. What does qualifications mean? In simple words, your qualifications are the skills, the experience, and the education that make you the right person for a job. Think of it like this. Qualifications are the proof that you can do the job well. Let's hear 2 simple example sentences. Example 1. My qualifications include a degree in accounting and 3 years of work experience. Example 2. Can you tell me about your qualifications for this position? Now, it's your turn. Try to make one sentence using the word qualifications. You could say something like, my qualifications include experience in customer service. Pause for a moment and try saying your own sentence out loud right now, using your real background. Lien answers Mr. Carter's question calmly because she has practiced this word before. My qualification include a degree in accounting, 3 years of bookkeeping experience, and strong attention to detail. Shadow that full sentence with me now, slowly. My qualifications include a degree in accounting, 3 years of bookkeeping experience, and strong attention to detail. Very good. Mr. Carter smiles and writes something on his notepad. That's great to hear. Now, I do have a question about scheduling. What is your availability? Here is our second new vocabulary word, availability. Listen, availability. Repeat after me. Availability. One more time, breaking it into pieces. Availability. Availability simply means the days and times when you are free to work. When someone asks, what is your availability? They want to know which days you can come to work, and sometimes which hours. Let's hear 2 examples. Example 1. My availability is Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Example 2. I have full availability on weekends. Now, try making your own sentence. Think about your real schedule and say out loud, my availability is, and finish the sentence with your own days. Lien answers, my availability is Monday through Friday, and I'm also open to occasional Saturdays if needed. Shadow that sentence with me. My availability is Monday through Friday, and I'm also open to occasional Saturdays if needed. This sentence shows flexibility, which employers in America really appreciate. Flexibility, meaning you are willing to adjust your schedule. The interview continues smoothly for a few more minutes. Mr. Carter asks about her previous job duties, and Lien answers clearly, describing how she managed invoices and balanced accounts every month. She feels her confidence growing with every answer. But then, Mr. Carter leans back in his chair and asks a question that Lien did not prepare for. Before we finish, I just want to ask, do you have any references we could contact? Here comes our third vocabulary word, references. Listen. References. Repeat after me. References. One more time. Refer and says. A reference is a person, usually a former boss or coworker, who can speak positively about your work when an employer calls them. Think of a reference as someone who vouches for you, someone who confirms that you really are a good, reliable worker. Example 1. I can provide 2 professional references from my previous job. Example 2. Do you have any references we could contact? Now, try your own sentence. Think of someone from your past work or studies who could be your reference and say quietly, I can provide a reference from. Lien pauses for just a second because she wasn't fully sure her old manager back home would answer an American phone call. Hmm? But she recovers quickly and says, yes, I can provide 2 references. My previous manager and a colleague I worked closely with. Shadow that sentence with me. Yes, I can provide 2 references. My previous manager and a colleague I worked closely with. Mr. Carter nods, satisfied, and glances at his notes one more time. And this is the moment. This is the moment Lien has been dreading the entire morning, the moment she did not fully prepare for. Mr. Carter looks up and asks, in a calm, casual voice, as if it were the easiest question in the world. So, what are your salary expectations for this role? For a second, the room feels completely silent to Lien. Her mind goes blank. In her home country, this question is almost never asked so directly, so early, in such a plain way. She doesn't know if she should say a number. She doesn't know if a high number will make her sound greedy, or if saying a low number will make her sound like she doesn't value herself. 5 seconds pass. Then 8 seconds. Mr. Carter is still waiting, patiently, but Lien can feel her face getting warm. This is exactly the kind of real, risky moment that so many English learners face, and nobody prepares them for it. But here is the good news. You are about to learn exactly what Lien learns in this moment, so that the next time you hear this question, you will not freeze. Here is our 4th vocabulary phrase today, and it is a powerful one. Salary expectations. Listen. Salary expectations. Repeat after me. Salary expectations. One more time, slowly. Salary expectations. Salary expectations simply means the amount of money you hope or expect to be paid for the job. This question can feel scary, but there is a safe, professional way to answer it. Even if you are not completely sure of the exact number, listen to this useful sentence pattern. Based on my experience, I'm looking for a salary in the range of, or if you are not sure yet, you can say, I'm open to discussing salary based on the responsibilities of the role. This second sentence is extremely useful because it buys you time and sounds professional even when you feel unprepared. Let's shadow both of these together. Based on my experience, I'm looking for a salary in the range of. Now, the second one, I'm open to discussing salary based on the responsibilities of the role. Lien takes a breath. Remember, breathing is allowed in interviews. Pausing for 2 seconds to think is completely normal and professional. And she says, based on my experience and the responsibilities of this role, I'm looking for a salary in the range of $42,000 to $46,000 a year. But I'm open to discussing this further. Shadow that with me, piece by piece. Based on my experience and the responsibilities of this role, I'm looking for a salary in the range of $42,000 to $46,000 a year. But I'm open to discussing this further. This answer works so well because it gives a clear number, but it also stays flexible and polite. Mr. Carter smiles, genuinely, and says, that's very reasonable. And it's actually right in the range we had budgeted for this position. And just like that, the tension in the room disappears completely. Lien feels her shoulders relax for the first time in 20 minutes. Mr. Carter looks down at his notes one more time, taps his pen gently against the desk, and says, well, Lien, I think we've covered everything I needed today. Do you have any questions for me? This is another moment that catches many candidates off guard because in some interview cultures, you are not expected to ask anything back. But here in America, this question is almost always asked, and saying, no, I don't have any questions, can sometimes make you look less interested in the job. So, Lien, remembering what she practiced the night before, sits up a little and says, yes, actually, I do have one question. What would a typical first month in this role look like? Let's shadow that question together, because it is a wonderful question you can bring to almost any interview. What would a typical first month in this role look like? One more time, a little more naturally. What would a typical first month in this role look like? Mr. Carter seems pleased by the question, and he explains that the first month would mostly involve learning the software system and shadowing another bookkeeper. Lien nods along, understanding almost everything, and even asking a small follow-up question about the software name. This small moment matters. Asking a follow-up question shows real engagement, not just memorized answers. Then Mr. Carter stands up, extends his hand, and says the sentence that ends almost every American interview. Well, thank you so much for coming in today, Lien. We'll be in touch. Here is a small but very important detail. We'll be in touch does not always mean yes, and it does not always mean no. It simply means we will contact you later with our decision. Shadow that phrase with me now. We'll be in touch. One more time, naturally. We'll be in touch. Lien shakes his hand firmly, looks him in the eye, and responds with one final, polished sentence. Thank you again for the opportunity. I look forward to hearing from you. Shadow that with me, slowly, because this is the perfect closing line for any interview you will ever have. Thank you again for the opportunity. I look forward to hearing from you. Let's repeat it once more, a little warmer. This time. Thank you again for the opportunity. I look forward to hearing from you. And with that, the interview is over. Lien walks out of the office, past the receptionist, who smiles and says, "Have a good day." Lien smiles back, "You too, thank you," and steps outside into the morning light. And here is the truth. Lien does not know yet if she got the job. But something bigger happened today. 20 minutes ago, she froze for 8 long seconds when asked about salary. And by the end of the interview, she was answering complex questions, asking her own questions, and closing the conversation with total confidence. That transformation, from frozen silence to confident communication, happened in the space of one conversation because Lien had the right words ready in her mind, words she had practiced again and again, just like you are doing right now. Before we move forward, I want you to notice something about yourself. You have been listening and shadowing for several minutes now, and your brain has already absorbed 4 powerful interview words: qualifications, availability, references, and salary expectations. These are not simple, generic words like the words other lessons teach you. These are words that solve a real problem in a real, high-pressure moment. That is the entire purpose of this lesson, and honestly, of this whole channel. English for real survival, not English for decoration. Now, let's bring all 4 vocabulary words together in one smooth, connected mini conversation, the way they might actually appear together in a real interview. Listen to the whole exchange first, calmly, without repeating yet. Can you tell me about your qualifications for this role? What is your availability? Do you have any references we could contact? And finally, what are your salary expectations? Now, let's shadow the whole thing together, question by question, slowly. Can you tell me about your qualifications for this role? What is your availability? Do you have any references we could contact? What are your salary expectations? Excellent work. Now, this time I want you to imagine that you are the one answering, using your own real information. Take a breath and quietly, in your own voice, answer each question as if you are truly sitting in that interview chair. My qualifications include, my availability is, I can provide a reference from, my salary expectations are, you just completed a full mini interview in English using real, functional vocabulary. That is not a small thing. That is a real skill you can use tomorrow. next week, or in your very next real interview. Now we are going to shift into something a little different, a fast, high-energy practice round designed to build what we call muscle memory. This means training your mouth to produce these sentences automatically without a stopping to think, the same way your hand doesn't think when you tie your shoelaces. We are going to take 5 essential interview sentence patterns and practice many quick variations of each one, back to back, so your brain starts to recognize the shape of these sentences instantly. Our first pattern is, I have experience in. This pattern lets you describe any skill or background quickly and clearly. Listen and shadow each one after me, quickly, without long pauses. I have experience in customer service. I have experience in accounting. I have experience in retail. I have experience in food service. I have experience in warehouse work. I have experience in childcare. I have experience in construction. Notice how the pattern never changes. Only the ending word changes. This is exactly how fluent speakers sound so quick and natural. They are not creating new grammar every time. They are simply changing one small piece of a pattern they already know by heart. Our second pattern is, I am available. This helps you answer scheduling questions instantly. Shadow, quickly with me. I am available Monday through Friday. I am available on weekends. I am available in the mornings. I am available in the evenings after 5. I am available to start immediately. I am available for full-time work. I am available for part-time work. Feel how smoothly these come out once the pattern is fixed in your mind. Our third pattern is, can you tell me more about? This is one of the most useful question patterns in any interview because it lets you ask for clarification politely anytime you don't fully understand something. Shadow with me. Can you tell me more about the schedule? Can you tell me more about the responsibilities? Can you tell me more about the team? Can you tell me more about the training process? Can you tell me more about the benefits? Can you tell me more about the next steps? This single pattern alone can rescue you in almost any confusing moment during an interview. Instead of panicking, you simply ask for more information. Our fourth pattern is, I'm looking for, useful for describing what you want from a job. Shadow with me. I'm looking for a stable, long-term position. I'm looking for a role where I can grow. I'm looking for a job close to home. I'm looking for full-time hours. I'm looking for a supportive team environment. Notice how each of these sentences sounds calm, positive, and professional. Exactly the tone employers want to hear. Our fifth and final pattern today is, thank you for, perfect for closing any conversation politely and confidently. Shadow with me, one more time, quickly. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you for explaining that.
Thank you for considering my application. You now have 5 flexible, powerful sentence patterns and dozens of ways to use each one. That is not small progress. That is real. usable English. Let's pause here for just a moment. I want you to notice how your mouth feels right now. A little more active, maybe a little tired, but also a little more confident, right? That tiredness is a good sign. It means your speaking muscles are actually working, actually building strength, the same way your legs feel tired after a good walk. Keep going with me because we still have important pieces left in today's lesson, including what happens later that same day when Lien receives a phone call she was not expecting. Now, let's go back to Lien's day for a moment, because her story is not quite finished, and it teaches us one more essential lesson about American work culture. After the interview, Lien goes home. She replays the conversation in her mind, especially the salary question, and she smiles a little, proud that she didn't fully freeze, even though those first few seconds were terrifying. She spends the rest of her day doing normal things. She eats lunch, she does laundry, she calls her sister and tells her in her home language, "I think it went okay. I don't know. We'll see." That phrase, "we'll see," is something so many of us say after a big moment in any language, isn't it? Let's shadow that small phrase together, because you will use it often too. We'll see. One more time, calmly. We'll see. Around 4 in the afternoon, Lien's phone rings. She doesn't recognize the number. And for a second, her heart jumps, because unknown phone calls in a new country can feel a little frightening, can't they? She answers carefully. "Hello, this is Lien." On the other end, a friendly voice says, "Hi, Lien. This is Mr. Carter from the accounting office. I just wanted to call and let you know we'd love to offer you the position." Lien's breath catches for a second, a mix of shock and joy, and she says, "Oh, thank you so much. I'm really happy to hear that." Shadow that reaction with me, because celebrating good news properly in English matters too. "Thank you so much. I'm really happy to hear that." Mr. Carter continues. "Great. We'll send over the offer details by email today. Welcome to the team." And Lien, still a little in shock, manages to say clearly, "Thank you. I'm looking forward to starting." Shadow that final sentence with me, slowly, warmly. "Thank you. I'm looking forward to starting." This is such an important closing phrase for accepting good news professionally. I'm looking forward to, followed by whatever comes next. Try it once more with feeling. I'm looking forward to starting. And there it is, the full circle of Lien's day. She woke up nervous, froze for 8 seconds during the hardest question, recovered with the right vocabulary, closed the interview with confidence, and by 4 in the afternoon, she had a job offer waiting in her inbox. This entire journey happened because of preparation. Not perfect English, not native level grammar, but prepared, practiced, ready vocabulary for the exact moments that matter most. Now, before we move into our final stretch of practice today, I want you to take 30 seconds and think about your own life. Maybe you have an interview coming up soon. Maybe you don't have one scheduled yet, but you know that one day, this exact situation, qualifications, Availability, references, salary will happen to you too. I want you to feel right now that you are already a little more ready than you were 20 minutes ago. That readiness is real. It is not imaginary confidence. It is built directly from the sentences you just practiced with your own voice. Let's continue building on this foundation with a slightly deeper listening challenge, because your ears need training just as much as your mouth does. I'm going to read a slightly longer, more natural version of an interview answer, the way a real, relaxed American speaker might say it. A little faster, with natural connected sounds. Listen closely first, without repeating. Yeah, so I've got about 3 years of experience in bookkeeping. I'm pretty flexible with my schedule, and honestly, I'm just looking for a place where I can grow and really contribute to the team. Notice how different this sounds from the slower, clearer version. Words connect together. I've got instead of I have. Pretty flexible instead of a more formal phrase. This is real spoken English, and the more your ears get used to hearing it, the less scary it will feel in a real conversation. Let's shadow it now, piece by piece, at a natural pace. I've got about 3 years of experience in bookkeeping. I'm pretty flexible with my schedule. I'm just looking for a place where I can grow and contribute to the team. Well done. You just shadowed natural, connected, native speed English, and that is genuinely advanced practice, even though the vocabulary itself is simple. This is the secret so many learners miss. Fluency is not about knowing complicated words. It is about being comfortable with simple words spoken naturally and quickly. Let's keep building. New, because there is still real ground to cover today, and I want your practice to go deeper before we finish. Let's talk for a moment about a fear that almost every English learner shares, whether they say it out loud or not. The fear of being asked something you don't understand at all. Right there, in the middle of an important conversation. It happened to Lien too, just a few weeks after she started her new job. One afternoon, a coworker named David stopped by her desk and asked her a quick question, speaking fast, the way people naturally speak with coworkers they feel comfortable with. Hey, Lien, quick thing. Are you around Friday to cover for Sandra? She's got a doctor's appointment. Lien understood most of it, but cover for confused her for a second. Instead of freezing or just saying yes and hoping for the best, she used one of our 5 patterns from earlier. Can you tell me more about what covering for her would involve? David smiled and explained simply, "Oh, just answering her phone line and handling any client calls that come in." Lien nodded, relieved, and said, "Sure, I'm available Friday. I can do that." Shadow that response with me now, calmly. "Sure, I'm available Friday. I can do that." Do you see what happened there? Lien didn't understand one phrase. Cover for. But instead of panicking, she used a tool she already had, a clarifying question, and the whole moment resolved itself smoothly in just a few seconds. This is exactly the skill we are building together in this lesson. Not perfect understanding of every single word, but the ability to keep the conversation moving forward calmly, even when something is unclear. Let's shadow that clarifying question one more time because it will save you in so many real situations at work. Can you tell me more about what that would involve? One more time, a little more naturally. Can you tell me more about what that would involve? Now let's take a moment to review everything you have built today, because review is what turns today's practice into tomorrow's automatic speech. We started with 4 essential interview vocabulary words. Let's bring them back one at a time, and this time I want you to try answering before I give you the example, just from memory. First word, qualifications. What does it mean? Pause for a second and try to explain it in your own mind. Good, it means the skills, experience, and education that prove you can do a job well. Shadow the word one more time. Qualifications. Second word, availability. What does it mean? Pause and think. It means the days and times you are free to work. Shadow it once more. Availability. Third word, references. What does it mean? Take a moment. It means people who can confirm you are a good, reliable worker, usually a former boss or colleague. Shadow it. References. Fourth phrase, salary expectations. What does it mean? One more pause. It means the amount of money you hope to be paid for a job. Shadow the full phrase one more time, slowly and clearly. Salary expectations. Now, let's put all 4 words into one single, connected sentence, the kind of summary sentence you could genuinely say to a friend describing your own interview experience. Listen first. During my interview, they asked about my qualifications, my availability, my references, and even my salary expectations. But I felt ready for all of it. Now shadow that whole sentence with me, slowly, all the way through. During my interview, they asked about my qualifications, my availability, my references, and even my salary expectations, but I felt ready for all of it. One more time, a little more confidently. During my interview, they asked about my qualifications, my availability, my references, and even my salary expectations. But I felt ready for all of it. That sentence right there is proof of how far you've come in just this one lesson. A few minutes ago, these 4 words were new to you. Now, you just spoke them together smoothly in one connected thought. Let's do one final round of our fast pattern drill, combining everything we've practiced today, mixing all 5 sentence patterns together randomly. The way a real conversation might actually flow, jumping between topics naturally. Shadow quickly with me, one after another. I have experience in bookkeeping. I am available Monday through Friday. Can you tell me more about the benefits? I'm looking for a stable, long-term position. Thank you for the opportunity. I have experience in customer service. I am available to start immediately. Can you tell me more about the team? I'm looking for a supportive environment. Thank you for your time. Feel that rhythm? Notice how your mouth is starting to move through these sentences a little faster than at the very beginning of this lesson. That is real progress happening inside you, right now, in real time. Before we close today, I want to leave you with one more small but powerful phrase. Something Lien said to herself on the bus ride home the day she got the job offer. Something I want you to carry with you too. She looked out the window and quietly said, I did it. I was nervous, but I did it. Shadow that with me, gently, one final time. I did it. I was nervous, but I did it. Say it again, and really let yourself feel proud, because today, in this lesson, you practiced real, high-pressure, high-value English, the exact vocabulary and exact sentences that could change the outcome of a real interview, a real job, a real paycheck, for you or for someone in your family. I want you to remember something important as we finish today. The goal was never to become a perfect English speaker in one lesson. Perfect was never the target. The target was this. The next time someone asks you about your qualifications, your availability, your references, or your salary expectations, you will not freeze the way Lien almost did. You will have words ready, sentences ready, patterns ready, because you built them here, with me, sentence by sentence, breath by breath. If today's lesson helped you feel even a little more prepared, even a little less afraid of that interview room, please subscribe to the channel, because next time we are going to walk through a different survival situation together. What to say when you call to reschedule an appointment, and how to stay calm, even when the person on the phone speaks fast and doesn't slow down for you. That lesson will build on everything you just practiced today, so I would truly love to have you back for it. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. You showed up, you listened, you shadowed every single sentence, and that consistency is exactly what builds real fluency over time. Not one perfect day, but many small, honest days of practice just like this one. I'm proud of the work you did today, and I hope you're a little proud of yourself too. Take care of yourself, keep practicing a little every day, and I will see you in the next lesson. Wantunger.